Welcome to Marriage University. Today we're going to talk about altars, and more specifically, we're going to talk about spiritual altars for your marriage. Now, we don't want to get it confused. A marriage altar traditionally is the place where you stood and exchanged vows with your spouse in front of your pastor or the justice of the peace or whoever you use to officiate your marriage. That's generally what we call the marriage altar. But there is a spiritual altar built for your marriage. And that's what we want to talk about. But first, let's discuss what an altar is. So, biblically speaking, an altar is a place where people would make sacrifice. They would sacrifice offerings unto God. It's a place where they would sacrifice animals in order to worship God. They would give offerings of thanksgiving. They would give offerings of praise. They would give all types of offerings on the altar. It's a place where God's presence resided. So people would go to the altar in order to meet God there. So altars were very important in biblical times, and they were very important to those of the faith, those forefathers of the faith. So let's kind of bring it down a little bit and bring it a little more closer to home as it pertains to our topic today. We're talking about spiritual altars. So spiritual altars are a place where you surrender and you go onto that altar as a daily sacrifice unto God. But where it benefits you most is in your marriage, because you're offering yourself up daily as a sacrifice. Now, in that offering, we're taking to the altar pride, selfishness. We're taking that single-mindedness. We're taking the things that won't be beneficial for our marriage. See, we have to understand that we're two people that came to an altar to become one flesh. But let's not forget we're still two people. And in being individuals, we have our own individual issues. And the place where we take these individual issues to begin to resolve them and lay them down and exchange them for what God would have for us is the altar. So these altars have to be set up. They have to be intentionally and purposefully built. You have to know with an understanding what you're doing. So marital altars or spiritual altars, they are a place where you and your spouse have committed to meet to pray or to worship God. It's a place where you come together. See, in biblical times, it was a physical location. So now I don't want to get you all spooked out that you have to go in your house and build a shrine where you come and pray. No. Remember, I said it's a spiritual altar. So if you and your wife meet at the dinner table, if you and your wife meet wherever it may be, and you come together and you designate that as your place of prayer and your place of worship, then it becomes a spiritual altar. Now, your marriage is also an altar because your marriage has to be spiritually maintained. See, there are things that seek to destroy your marriage. So those things, they have to be brought to the altar so that they can be put to death. See, there's a flesh side of us. There's a flesh side of every husband and a flesh side to every wife. And in order to put that flesh to spiritual death, it has to be done on an altar. So again, you bring the things that will not continue to serve you as an individual. See, you're not looking to grow as a single man or a single woman. you've come together with your spouse and you're looking to grow as one. So in order for that to take place, exchanges have to be made. Certain things have to be put to death. And the place that you're going to do that on a regular basis is your marital altar or your spiritual altar. So that's just a brief introduction to what an altar is. And as we begin to go deeper, then we'll begin to unlock a deeper level of teaching concerning spiritual altar. But I just wanted to make sure as we begin this journey, we have a clear enough understanding of what an altar is.